Sisters! I'm Andreen.
And I'm Joel.
And this is the Halloween edition of Rewind Rewatch, a 90s movie podcast. Welcome back to Rewind Rewatch. Today we are covering the Halloween movies of all movies, Hocus Pocus.
Is this the Halloween movie of all Halloween movies?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be Halloween? Wouldn't that be the Halloween movie of all
Here's the
movies?
thing about this movie, though. When you're a child, I feel like you're not watching Halloween. But Hocus Pocus is like probably the first Halloween movie that I think a lot of kids, at least in America, watch. And so you associate Halloween with Hocus Pocus as a child. And as you get older, then you'll start to watch the Halloweens. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean in theory. I'll put it that way.
What? So did you watch Halloween before you watched Hocus Pocus?
I think I did. So here's the thing. Here's my admission.
Okay.
I might as well just get this out the way.
At the top of the episode.
I did not see Hocus Pocus until like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say until this week. I was about to be like, Joel, no.
No, but like post-pandemic. Like,
wow. How did
I feel
I
like
let
it's
that
one
happen?
of those movies that like people always brought up, you know, people that I knew, people that I dated would always like mention Hocus Pocus, and I'd be like, yeah, but it's like, I didn't really know. I just knew Sisters, but it's like I didn't really get it. So then,
Sisters, I don't really know.
Yeah, my girlfriend at the time, who's not my wife, was like, "Yo, we have to watch this movie because you've never seen this. Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
So,
what are you doing? And that's an excellent question.
So shout out to her.
Yes, shout out to your now wife. And I think this might have been one of the real reasons why she became your wife, because Hocus Pocus, come on, bro. What are you doing with your life?
And then we saw Hocus Pocus 2, which was also, I actually kind of enjoyed as well.
Yeah.
I don't really remember it because I only saw it the one time when it came out. But now that I've seen Hocus Pocus a second time, I feel like at some point in the near future, I'm going to have to run back the sequel, especially while the first one's fresh in my mind.
Got to. Okay, so this is a PG-rated movie, which I definitely have some thoughts on, which I will get to later.
Listen. The Yabos? The Yabos? That was crazy.
Wait, we're getting ahead of ourselves. All right, this is a 1993 film. I have so much to say about this movie, as does Joel, apparently. We're going to get through it. This is a 1 hour and 36 movie runtime. This was requested by the one and only Thwip Stickers from Georgia.
Shout out to Thwip Stickers.
As well as another lucky duck, Ayla from Colorado.
Shout out to Ayla.
So, as you mentioned, there is a Hocus Pocus 2 that came out in 2022. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but Disney has confirmed that they are officially developing a Hocus Pocus 3.
I don't know how I feel about that, but
Bette Midler actually had an interview with People where she said that she saw the script and she said a lot of it was quote unquote brilliant. So that's going to be coming out shortly. This film was directed by Kenny Ortega, and Kenny Ortega did a few episodes of The Gilmore Girls, but he is most known for the High School Musical movies.
Zack Efron.
And when I think about High School Musical, I think about our youngest brother, Dave, because he was of the age of kids who would watch that movie. And he was always going around singing, "We're all in this together."
I do remember that.
So, yeah.
I've never seen that movie either.
With Dave playing it like 5 times a day? How?
Because Dave was playing it 5 times a day, and I was like, this looks dumb, and I just never watched it.
I feel like I saw a couple of musical
Dave also
numbers.
used to watch Holes all the time, and I didn't watch that when he used to play it either. I saw Holes for the first time like 5 years ago, too.
That's fair, because I watched it with you with Dave for the first time 5 years ago. So That makes sense.
All right, so it's the same situation. It was like, all right.
So before we do your one-sentence summary, let's just quickly list the main characters here. We have Bette Midler, who plays Winifred Sanderson. And we covered her in our first Wives Club episode. I want to give a, RIP to Diane Keaton, who recently passed away. We also have Sarah Sanderson, played by Sarah Jessica Parker, who was known from Sex and the City. We also saw her in First Wives Club. And then lastly, we have Mary Sanderson, who's played by Kathy Najimy, who was in Sister Act 1 and Sister Act 2. She played one of the nuns. All right, before we start getting into the actual details of the movie, Joelle, in one sentence, if you could sum up Hocus Pocus, what would it be?
3 witches from the 1600s are returned to Salem 300 years later and must suck the souls from children in order to stay alive.
Yeah. That's pretty much what happens. So as this film opens, we are looking at 1693 in Salem, Massachusetts. The Sanderson sisters, they lure children to them by song. They kill the children, they steal their youth, and basically by taking in the youth of the children, they are able to keep themselves young and alive. At the beginning of the film, they kill this little girl, Emily, and her brother, who tries to save her, gets turned into a black cat who has eternal life. And then the witches are then hung by the villagers. A lot happening for the first 5 minutes.
My main man, Thackeray.
Thackeray Binks, yes.
So the thing about Thackeray, whose last name conveniently sounds like something you would name your pet cat. But we find out 300 years later that I don't know if this is something that developed over time, but he can also talk. So he's a talking cat. And I'm wondering if Thackeray can talk, why didn't he just talk to his parents? Because we see when the witches get hung that he's trying to crawl around his dad. He's meowing. He's trying to get his dad's attention. And his dad basically just shoots him away. Like, you stupid beast. Like, get out of my way. I'm like, why didn't he just be like, yo, dad, it's me?
So that's
we also see in 1993, 300 years later, that he seems to only really talk when he's talking to children. So maybe it's something where it's like he can't communicate to adults. I don't know. They didn't really explain that.
And that's a question that comes up quite a bit. And I think you kind of hit both of them. On the one hand, it could be that he only can speak with children. The other hand could be that maybe his gift of speech has developed over time. Like, he has just been turned into a cat. So maybe at that time, he hasn't yet developed the ability to speak. But like you said, they don't.
Maybe if cats were able to live for 300 years, they'd develop a speaking ability. We'll never know.
Maybe. It's very possible.
You know what's funny about that? I bring this up to my wife all the time, and she's like, I don't know what to tell you. Because we have 2 cats. And sometimes I'll just be looking at them like, yo, I really wonder what they're thinking right now. Like, I just want to be in their head. Like, what do they think is going on here? And so, like, we'll just never know. But it would be amazing. Like, I think about, like, that Dr. Dolittle movie. Just, like, I would just love that ability for, like, just the 24 hours. If I could just talk to them just to see what's actually going on in their head.
Oh. Okay, so this movie, although you've only just seen it, I guess, during COVID, which is strange to me.
Hey, I've seen it twice.
Congratulations.
I've seen it twice, man.
I have seen this movie more times than I could possibly count. But still, during this watch, there were still some things that I hadn't noticed before. So, kudos, I guess, in any film that's worth any kind of salt, I guess, you can find little things here or there that you forget about over time, because half of the time when you're watching a movie, I feel like you're not watching it for a podcast, where it's like we're actively sitting down, taking notes, and trying to remember things. So there are going to be things that definitely come up. One thing that it's hard for me to ignore is, so my husband and I recently went to Salem, Massachusetts, and while we were there, we had the opportunity to see a couple of the landmarks that are shown in the film. So we were able to see the house where Allison lives, which was pretty cool, where the party happens. And then we're also able to see Town Hall, where the adults end up having the party later on in the film. And I wanted to mention that.
Party?
Yeah, I wanted to mention that because in the Patreon, Thrip Stickers mentioned that he also went to Salem last year. He did not go during Halloween, though. He went the weekend after and said, like, it was great because the Halloween decorations were still up, but the prices were much lower. So kudos to him for thinking, for outsmarting everyone and saving the money. But, all right, so you mentioned Thackeray Binks, and Thackeray starts out as a regular boy, and he is trying to save his sister Emily. Emily has been lured by the witches because Sarah has this beautiful song that she sings to the children to get them to come. She has the whole "Come little children, I'll take thee away into the land of enchantment."
Into a land of enchantment.
And the kids have no control over this. Like, when this happens, like, you're going to follow. Thackeray sees his sister is being lured, so he goes after her. He tries to save her. He does not succeed. Emily, unfortunately, is killed. And Thackeray ends up calling the witches, like, old hags. And he gets turned into a black cat. But he also becomes cursed, saying that basically he has eternal life, which is not really what you want, which we learned when we covered Interview with the Vampire. Living forever is not as cracked up as it seems to be. And so he is now, huh?
I said it's trash.
So he has now been, like, he's taken it upon himself to basically guard the Sanderson cottage. So if anyone comes by and tries to light this, this black candle, if they try to light it, he basically is going to try to put a stop to it, because before the Sanderson sisters are killed, they end up singing a song, and Winifred, who is the leader of the sisters, puts pretty much like a hex or a curse, basically saying, "On All Hallows Eve, where the moon is round, a virgin will summon us from under the ground." Now, there's one where you're laughing. Why are you laughing?
Because, like, why? Like, why do we have this whole, like, virgin detail in this children's movie? I didn't understand why that was.
I was
necessary.
waiting for you to bring that up.
And then they kept hitting it like, "Yo, did you know he's a virgin? Max is a virgin." It's like, yo, why is this a thing? Because all I'm picturing as I'm watching this movie is a bunch of, like, 9-year-olds being like, "Hey, mom, what's that word mean?" And
right.
then, like, a bunch of kids, basically their parents having to explain to them what a virgin is, or just lying and making something else up. But, like, it felt like a very specific detail that didn't really have a place in a children's film.
Completely agreed. And this is probably one of the gripes that I think a lot of adults have, particularly if they have young children when watching this movie, because this is a Disney film after all. So it's like, why is this word being put here? And so I
also,
watched...
the kid's in, like, 6th grade, and they're, like, using it as a stick to beat him with. Oh, Max is still a virgin. Yeah, he is. Everyone in his grade should be.
Yeah, I think Max is supposed to be, like, 15, which, again, yeah, I Googled it.
I thought he was in middle school.
I was trying to figure it out, but from what I saw, again, they don't mention it in the film, but from what I could see, people were saying he's supposed to be 14 or 15, which, again, he's still a child. Like, there's no expectation. He's not 25. So I don't know why there was, like, all this shock and awe. So as I watched this film, I've watched it a few times, and I noticed that on Freeform, they were having this kind of like, do you remember VH1 with, like, those, I can't recall what it was actually titled, but they would have, like, music videos with, like, pop-ups.
Pop-up video.
Oh, there you go. Pop-up video. it was very much like that, but they was covering this movie. And so I saw it was going to be playing on Freeform, and I figured I might as well watch this to see what facts I can glean from Freeform. And one of the facts that they had is, as the movie was going on, they would have what's called a virgin counter. and it would show up every time the word virgin was stated. And it turned out they said the word virgin 9 times in this film. 9.
Jeez. That's 9 times too many.
So what ends up happening is, let's back up a little bit. Max is there. He's new in town. He is originally from LA. And he and his family, which consists of his mom, his dad, and his younger sister, Danny, they have all moved from LA to Salem, and Max is really not here for it. He's not buying in to this whole idea of Halloween as part of the city's, lore. It's like the whole story of the Sanderson sisters, that they were killed 300 years ago. They have cast this spell. And if any virgin goes and lights this black candle, then, they can come back on All Hallows Eve. And Max is kind of just like, this is not a real thing. Like, it's been manufactured by the candy companies. Like, Halloween is not a thing. And what I found to be interesting watching it back, and I always laugh at this scene, is that Max is in school and the teacher, I'm not even sure what class they're in, history perhaps, but
Halloween class.
The teacher is like giving all the history and she's like all into it. And Max is like, yeah, this is not a real thing. And the teacher is so into it. Allison is a girl in class that Max has a crush on. And Allison, tells the story about like, All Hallows Eve started here and blah, blah, blah. And the teacher's like, yes, bravo, Allison, that's that.
It just so happens that Halloween is based on the ancient feast called All Hallows Eve. It's the one night of the year where the spirits of the dead can return to Earth.
Well said, Allison.
And it's like, y'all really believe these Sanderson sisters are real? And honestly, I can't.
Oh, it's not even just the teacher, though. Like, Allison gives this basically explanation of the history of Salem and the Sanderson twins. And the entire class breaks into a round of applause.
Yeah.
I was like, why is that happening? Like, they're applauding the fact, I don't know if they were applauding the fact that she knew it or if they were applauding the fact that she was telling off Max. I
That's
didn't
what I
really
think it
understand
was.
what was happening. It's like, this is not a performance. You're just answering a question in class.
Yeah, I
But
think it was
whatever.
very much like, oh, this California dude thinks he's cooler than us.
Well, yeah, he is. He's from LA. He's much cooler than all of them.
Well, until he gets beat up by the bullies.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Because
But they weren't cool at all.
Max
The bullies, so Ice and Jay are their names. Ice conveniently has the name Ice shaved into the back of his head.
I mean,
And
as one does.
They were definitely giving me the same energy as the bullies from Power Rangers.
Oh, yeah, like
What was their
bumbling
name?
idiots.
Skull and whatever.
Yeah.
They were definitely like the same type of like.
Yeah. Yeah,
It was like definitely like you're a bully, but you're kind of a dweeb, and like you make these jokes, but they're actually not that funny, and your clothes are mad tacky. It's just like they're not cool. They're not cool bullies. They're just bigger than everyone else.
Yeah, but they also
And
have an entourage.
they run in a crew. They run in
Yeah.
a crew of like 5, and
Yeah.
Max is a new kid, so he has no help.
Right. They are able to steal his sneakers and
Easily. I mean, he's
Yeah.
by himself.
yeah. Although I will say initially Max is not backing down. He's like calling Ice like a mouth breather. Like he's getting his bars off, but at the end of the day, it's like, we got you. So
Also, you're
there's-
just leisurely hanging out in a cemetery. There's no good things are gonna happen, bro. You don't just go hang out in a cemetery. You're gonna run into some shady characters.
Well, I think he was riding home from school. Maybe he was trying to take a shortcut.
It's not a shortcut, dog. It's never a shortcut you should be taking.
He was trying to take a shortcut. So Max has a crush on Allison. Allison is in his class. And Max is trying to be smooth. He tries to hit on Allison. After Allison gives that rousing speech about Halloween in Salem, he walks over to her and he says to her basically like, oh, well, if the dead come back to life on Halloween, he says, if you see, it was some
Jimi Hendrix.
Here's my number. And he writes it down and passes it to her. And everyone in the class is like, oh. One of the guys is like, no way. She's out of your league, basically. It's not going to happen. So after class, Allison's a cute girl. After class, he goes out.
She's just not that into you, bro.
And they're walking, and she's talking to him. They're having like a nice little, back and forth. And she says to him, trick or treat, and gives him a folded up piece of paper and walks away. And so he's thinking like, oh, I'm lit. I just got Allison's number. And then when he opens a piece of paper, it's the paper that he had just given her with his number. I was like, damn, girl.
She gave him his own number back, which is crazy. I actually thought the game he ran was actually kind of fly. I was like, okay, like this little dude got energy.
Yeah.
But she had nothing for it, which I was kind of blown. I'm like, this dummy. Why she not letting my man Max cook?
I mean, he asked her out basically in front of the whole class.
Nah, it was amazing. I wouldn't have done that at 15.
No way.
I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely no way.
And there was this girl in high school I had a crush on for like 3 years, and I barely knew what to say to her beyond like, how was your weekend? I had nothing. I was trash. So I'm looking at Max at allegedly high school, and I'm like, okay, like, especially for a new kid who knows nobody, I was impressed. I thought that was like definitely going to work, and it did not work at all.
Yeah, so he ends up going home, and we are able to meet his mom, his dad, and his sister. He goes home, and he immediately goes into his bed, and he starts pretending that Allison is his pillows. And he's like, oh, Allison. Oh, Allison.
Nah, come on, dog.
His little sister, Danny, is hiding in his closet, getting ready to scare him in her witch's costume. And then she jumps out and she's like, boo. So remember, I'm watching this freeform, pop-up video version. And in this moment, the pop-up video says, good thing she didn't wait for another 5 minutes to come out. And I was like, whoa.
Oh, my God.
So immediately I said, wait, what channel is this? Freeform? Not to mention on Freeform, it says TV 14. So I'm like, what are y'all actually doing?
They changed the rating. They were like, yo, that PG rating is not going to fly anymore. It's not 1993 anymore, bucko.
They said...
we got to update this.
They said by the time we add these pop-ups, it's going to be TV 14, baby. Because, I was taken aback by that. I said, oh, God, that was a lot. So the little sister, Danny, she wants to go trick-or-treating. She wants her big brother, Max, to take her, and she's pleading with him to take him. And I'm watching the scene, and I was like, yo, Max's room is dope. Did you notice this?
I didn't really notice his room at all.
Yo, it's pretty big. He has room for an entire drum set in his room. In addition to that, he has stairs that go up to a loft.
Oh,
I was like, yo, his room, I would have killed for that room when I was 15 or 14. Like, it was about it. So fast forward a little bit, it's Halloween. Mom and Dad make him take Danny out trick-or-treating. They're out, they're having a time. And while they're out trick-or-treating, the bullies come back, and they're trying to get the candy from Danny. And Danny is about it. She's like, I'm not afraid of y'all. I'm not giving you my candy. And also, my big brother is here, so back up. And Max, of course, sees who it is, and he is nervous because these are the guys who just finished taking his sneakers earlier that day. And that's when he ends up, like, basically yelling at his little sister. He's like, you embarrass me in front of these kids, because he knows he can't beat them up. It's like 5 of them against him. So he gives them his candy, and then now his sister is crying. She's sulking. She wants to go home. The night is ruined. And they have this one last house they decide to go and trick-or-treat at. And just so happens it ends up being Allison's house. It's a huge mansion. And her parents are throwing, like, the most boring Halloween party ever. Like, bro, these costumes?
Nah, she obviously knows her history for a reason, because when you go into Allison's house, which, first of all, she's obviously loaded, so I'm like, well, if you wasn't gonna bag before, you definitely got a bag now. But everyone there is basically dressed as if it is 1693. Like, they're dressed in the same garb that the people in the beginning of the movie had. So I'm like, okay, so obviously they're like obsessed with the history of Salem, and this is like their idea of a good time. But beyond that, it's also boring because she's just stuck in the house with a bunch of adults, which is not how any kid wants to spend their Halloween, regardless of whether they're supposed to be in middle or high school.
So while they're there, this is where Danny is. She realizes this is the Allison that Max has been pining over, and she makes it a comment to be like, "Oh, I like your costume," and Allison's like, "Oh, thank you," and she's like, "Oh, I can never wear that because I don't have," and she's like, "What do you call them, Max? Yabos?"
Nah, this is so crazy.
And then she was like, "Max love your yabos. In fact, he loves them."
Yo, first of all, I don't think I've ever even heard this word before.
No.
So I'm like, did they just make this up? I mean, I could do deductive reasoning to figure out what yabos are. But I'm like, let me just Google this just to see if this is. And I mean, according to Urban Dictionary, it is a real phrase for
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I guess that is something that people said once upon a time. I don't know when or where. I don't remember them ever saying that when I was growing up, but
Maybe in 1693. I don't know.
yeah, maybe.
Okay, yabos. Yeah. So
And apparently, it was said enough around the house that this little girl knows what they are. So
yeah, so Allison just kind of, is amusing. She's laughing about it, ha ha ha. And then she's like, "Oh, do you guys want to check out the old Sanderson sisters' cottage? It used to be a museum. It's now closed down, but like, I'm from here. I could take y'all over there." So Max just wants to spend time with Allison. He doesn't really care what they're doing. And the guy who had no interest in Halloween is suddenly very interested. And he's like, yeah, let's go. Danny's like, "I've heard kids in my class talk about that place. It's actually pretty haunted, and like, I'm not trying to go. It seems like a bad idea." And he has to plead with her and make promises to her, and eventually Danny's like, "Fine, we'll go." As soon as they get there, they're walking around, and Max quickly finds this black candle that had been referenced earlier on. And he doesn't believe in this at all. And he's about to light it, and Danny's like, "No, Max, don't light it." And he says, "Oh, come on. It's just a bunch of hocus pocus." He lights the candle, and man, oh man.
I love when a movie script puts the title in the script. That always cracks me up.
You gotta know where it
feels very
comes from,
on the
man.
nose. Of course,
very much so.
You never know for sure if the title came before the script, but it still feels like it does. I mean, none more egregious than when we watched Face Off. That was like,
Oh, dear God. That was the worst
obviously
one.
done on purpose. That was the worst one for sure. But the other thing, and I feel like we talked about this on a previous episode, is like, let's say you don't believe. Let's say this is all just a bunch of hocus pocus, mumbo jumbo, backwoods nonsense. Do you really want to find out? And this is the whole thing. It's like, I might not really believe that like Ouija boards are really haunted, but I'm not gonna play with one. I'm not about to find out, and then my house is haunted. And it's like, oh well, I guess I found out now. Like, nah, dog. Like, just leave it alone. So, okay, you don't believe the Sandersons, the lore of the Sanderson sisters, and this whole thing is just a bunch of nonsense. Why are you going and lighting the candle? You can also just be like, this is dumb, and leave. Like, don't test it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Would you go to the cottage though? Like, not lighting anything, but like, would you just go and like check out the cottage?
I would go check out the cottage because when you see the fact that the cottage has turned into a museum, like they basically preserved it. They had like signage in the front talking about the Sanderson sisters. So it's like a part of the city's lore.
Okay.
They obviously aren't that miffed about it to the point where they haven't destroyed it. Like, it's not like they knocked it down. It's not like they renovated it. They just like, oh, like, come check this out. This is a part of what we do here.
Right.
So walking in is fine. And we find out later that the place is equipped with some sort of fire alarm system, which obviously did not exist in 1693. So there's been some level of renovation in that space. So like walking in is fine, but like don't light the candle, bro. Like why are you doing this? This makes no sense to me.
Okay, fair enough. I wouldn't light it either, to be fair. But yeah, so that happens. The witches end up coming back, and Danny pretty much keeps her cool for quite a bit of this. Like they
She's
see
like
Danny
mad
first.
chill. She's
Yeah.
like super chill.
She's like, "Hey, sisters!" Like start trying to talk in like old English to them. Like she was having a time, and she's laughing with them, you know, kikiing. And then eventually they're like, "Yeah, we're starving, and we're gonna eat you," basically. That's when she starts to scream, and Max shows himself. He tries to save his sister. He ends up being zapped multiple times by Winifred, and eventually they are able to escape because Max and his quick thinking, like you said, the cottage has been renovated. They now have a sprinkler system. He uses a lighter, and he says that he's raining down like this, like some kind of rain of death or something. And the witches are not very bright. They also don't know how the world is operating in 1993, so they are afraid this man has magic. They see him create fire in his hands because he has a lighter, and they have no idea what that is. And so they are fearful of the mighty Max for a little bit, and they get away. Now, I want to talk here briefly about the sisters and like the role that they play. So you have three sisters. The main one is Winifred. Winifred is the one who is played by Bette Midler. And she is the smartest one of the bunch. She is kind of like the head of, I guess you would call the coven. She's the one who does all the spells. The other sisters are kind of like her helpmates. You have Sarah, who's played by Sarah Jessica Parker. She is the one who is definitely ditzy, but her role is to lure the children in. She does all of the singing, and once the children are in, it's Winifred who does the spells. And then lastly, you have Mary Sanderson. She is played by Kathy Najimy, and she has
Najimy.
Huh?
Najimy.
Najimy? I
And
forgot.
the only reason I know this is because I have not known how to pronounce this woman's name for years. I've always just kind of guessed. So I'm like, let me look it up. So I'm looking at her Wikipedia page right now, and it next to her name it has like the pronunciation, and it says Najimy with the second syllable accented. So
Well, the
guess
reason
that's
why
how
I
you
said
say that.
Najimy is because I actually watched an interview with Bette Midler, and that's how she pronounced it. So
Oh. All right, well, somebody's wrong.
I don't know. But anyway, something. Kathy.
Kathy. The girl from Sister Act. That's what people know her as. They don't know her name anyway. So.
Mary. Mary's power is that she is able to smell the children. So even when they can't see them, they can rely on her scent to kind of track them down. And I just love all the scenes that the witches are in because they're just a lot of fun. And this is why it's a Disney film. This is opposite of last year we covered The Craft for Halloween, and those witches were not the fun-loving, happy-go-lucky.
No, they were not. They were not pleasant. They were not fun. They were not enjoyable. They're crazy.
They were hotter, but that's about it. Like, these witches are very much like, they're fun to watch. You enjoy all the scenes that they're in. They're also kind of like bumbling idiots in certain facts. So it's like, they're not really as dangerous as you would think they possibly could be. You know, it's like, oh, they're dangerous, but not so much. It still is giving you that Disney fun.
So it's three things that I just want to bring up about the witches. Number one, I noticed as I'm watching this movie, like, they're doing all of this because they feel like they're getting older. They feel like they're losing their attractiveness. And so they basically want to, like, look younger and look cute. So I'm like, oh, like, this entire plot is just a vanity project. Like, this is really all just like, I want to look good. And that's the entire threat of this movie is just like these three women just wanting to be young and hot again. So that's first of all. The second thing is we talk about like Sarah Sanderson is kind of a ditz. She's kind of an airhead. But I feel like she didn't go like full dummy, because there's also certain points where she's actually kind of like the one that knows what's going on. Like when they can't remember the spell and she's like a dead man's toe, but they all ignore her because they're just like, oh, Sarah's always a dummy. But it's like she's actually the one that remembered it, but they just don't listen to her. So I thought that was interesting instead of like, you know, in certain ways she is definitely like a stereotypical blonde. But I feel like they all have moments of being the dummy, but then also having moments of like being the smart one. But it's clear from the onset that Bette Midler's character is running the show. And you even get a hint that not only is she most likely the eldest, but also that she's kind of like using them for her own, you know, kind of whatever she needs. There's a part at the beginning where she kidnaps the first girl and basically says like, oh yeah, this is so that I can get, our, like, she has to like correct herself. It's like, she's not really thinking about her sisters, but she has to convince them that she is so that they'll do what she wants.
Yeah.
And they also seem to be like vying for her approval, which she is also using to her advantage. But to that point, and the third thing I was going to say is Bette Midler is just like running like she's just she's the engine that's making this entire movie work, because it's like the facial expressions, the singing, the little sidestep walk that the three of them do together. It's like Bette Midler's giving a full performance that this movie really wouldn't be the same otherwise. And so even though she is the one in the forefront, it works because she's just giving so much to this movie, and like she is adding so much of the comedy and so much of the threats, but also like you said, it's like in a fun way. It's not like Halloween.
Right. Yeah, she was a ball. Every scene that she was in, it's like just movie magic in a good way. A lot of fun. So like you said, like their whole thing is we need to basically kill and suck the lives out of as many children as possible, because they only have basically a Halloween night. They come back and they have to basically suck as many lives as they can in order to stay alive. If they don't do it, then when the sun comes up, they're essentially toast. So that's their whole thing, is like try to stay alive. And so the whole movie, you have Max, you have Allison and Danny, and they are time after time trying to either run from the witches or they're trying to find the witches because one of them gets kidnapped. And there's a whole bunch of hijinks that ensue. One of the scenes that I love is when the witches find their way to the town hall. This is where all of the adults in the town are having the Halloween costume party. They have a live band, and everyone's having a ball. Max and his sister and Allison get there, and they're trying to warn their parents, like, hey, the Sanderson sisters are here, and we need to basically get everybody out of here. We need to warn them. His parents are like, come on, Max, like, stop playing around. And again, it's always in these movies where you have people who don't want to listen. And in Beethoven, we talked about this, where the parents didn't want to listen to, I believe her name was Emily, how she was saying that the bad man, hit Beethoven, and they're like, nah, relax. And it's like, if your child is not known to lie, why are you doubting them? But anyway, they don't believe him. Max gets on stage. He tries to warn everybody.
Do you think he's doing a bit?
Yeah, it goes back. Yeah, it backfires.
They're like, oh, word? Yo, your son's mad funny. Yo, like, he's great.
And that's when your girl steps up. Winifred says, "Max, thank you for that lovely introduction." And this is where she starts doing her "I put a spell on you." And they have this whole number. When they get on stage, they start singing. But whenever the witches are singing like this, they are basically hexing the crowd. So all of the adults,
They're putting a spell on them.
yes, and they're telling them in the lyrics, and nobody's listening.
Been 300 years, right down to the day. Now the witch is back, and there's hell to pay. I put a spell on you.
Good joke. Happy Halloween. Thanks a lot. No, man, I'm serious.
Yeah.
You got
They all get hexed.
It's the song. I mean,
Yeah. They all get
Real
hexed.
song.
And also, everybody thinks their costumes are just on point. Like, oh, your costumes are fire. It's like, no, this is actually just how we look. But okay. They put a spell on them, and the parents basically at this point are stuck there because the hex goes that they have to dance until they die. Which, I mean, would probably be a fun way to go. Like, you're basically just dancing until, I guess, your legs give out or your heart gives out. I'm not sure how that
that
ends.
would not be a fun way to go at all.
It would be fun at first.
It would be fun for like the first hour.
And then it's like,
you're
oh,
why
actually-
can't I stop dancing?
Well, you can hydrate while you're dancing. They're not saying
Okay, you can't sleep.
they're not saying how hard you have to dance. You can still get a drink.
You can't sleep.
Yeah, so the parents
I
are
mean,
right.
it's also funny because it seems like majority of the adults in Salem are in this party.
Mm-hmm.
Which then means like all these kids are just trick-or-treating on their own. They're just roaming the
Yes.
streets of Salem. You just see children just walking around by themselves with no parent or guardian.
Yep.
Which is like pretty chaotic when you think about it.
Yep. And that was
But
kind of
that's
like
basically what happens because after she puts the hex on the kids to get them to come and, you know, basically sacrifice their souls, it isn't as if they're walking away from their parents who are like, hey, where are you going? They're just by themselves. Like they're just walking to their impending death and parents are dancing their lives away.
And that was the thing. Like, there's no babysitters, like you said. And I was kind of interested as to, did that song at the end that Sarah sings, does it just work on children or does it work on teens too? Because when we see the kids walking, they all seem to be like children, like young children.
It doesn't work on teens because Ice and Jay don't get put into the hex.
Right. They're already captured in cages. They get captured another way. But yeah, you're right. We don't see anyone older. So that's why I was like, well, to your point, none of these parents had any teenagers set to babysit these kids. The kids were
No.
just trick or treat and go home. We'll see you later. What?
Because remember, Max gets stuck on babysitting duty. And that's another stick that Ice and Jay used to beat him with. Like, oh, you're actually out here with your little sister? Like, what a dummy. Mm-hmm. Nobody else is doing that.
It's Salem. It's a safe town. What do you want?
Apparently. A town that has a history of witchcraft is...
But the witches are
safe
dead,
town.
Joel. And none of the virgins from that town will be dumb enough to light the candle.
Hey, if you're a virgin, you better not go in that house.
So
Everyone knows that.
So there's
Stupid
really no-
California boy.
there's no risk. What are you talking about?
You're right, of course.
Yeah, so so that's happening, and they're realizing like, okay, what are we actually going to do to stop these witches? Because the parents are not going to be any help. They even try going to the cops. They see this gentleman on the street. They tell him what happens, and the guy just thinks that they're pulling his chain. And he, of course, also gives Max this ribbing like, you're a virgin? Seriously? And it's like, again, this is a child.
I can't believe it. He's a little boy.
He's like, really? Huh. So then the kids run away, and then afterwards we find out that it's just a regular dude who happens to be wearing a police costume for Halloween. And he tells his girlfriend, like, those kids thought I was a real cop, ha ha. And it's, all fun and games. Now, this
is a running theme throughout this night, is the fact that, like, nobody is who they seem because everyone's in costume.
Mm-hmm.
So the cop's not actually a cop. The Sanderson sisters look like they're in costume, but they're actually the Sanderson sisters. when they're walking in the streets, they at first don't recognize what's going on, so they think there's a bunch of miniature hobgoblins running around. And then they're like, wait, what? Like, these are just children. They're wearing masks. This is, Hallows Eve has become a day of fancy and playing around. Like, what's going on?
Where kids run amok.
But
Yes.
this also leads me to arguably my favorite scene.
Yes.
When they go to Satan's house. When they go to Satan's house, baby. That joint was wild. Cause I'm also not sure exactly what Satan had in mind.
Yo, Satan was a wild boy. I'll tell you
But
that.
apparently they're familiar with the Prince of Darkness. Mm-hmm. They've spent some time.
Master.
They've spent some time down there. Apparently, the past 300 years, they were hanging out in hell. They seem to have enjoyed themselves down there because there doesn't seem to be any fear of returning. In fact, they're quite excited when they see this man dressed up in a devil's uniform because they're like, "Oh, the master! Like, oh, it's lit. Let's go in his house. Let's see what he's got in store." Maybe he can give us some direction in this crazy town. So there's this whole confusion of them thinking that he's the real Satan and him thinking that they're these three hot mamas dressed up like the Sanderson twins.
Right.
He lives in a house with his wife who is not in costume and wants nothing to do with all of this fanfare surrounding Halloween.
She's fed up.
She's completely fed up with this man dressed up like Satan. So she's like, you're an idiot, and I just want to go to sleep.
Calm down, puddin' face.
Shove it, Satan.
Oh, thou should not speak to master in such a manner.
They call me master.
Wait till you see what I'm gonna call you.
Now, what exactly did he have planned? Because he invites these three strange women into his house, and he's like, babe, look. What was the play here, bro? Like, what was the plan? What was gonna happen? What did you think it was gonna be your wife's response? What were you hoping was gonna be your wife's response? And what was gonna happen after that? There's a lot of unanswered questions with this scene.
I mean,
There's a lot of conclusions I could draw. I could draw conclusions.
it's the Sanderson sisters, so like that's like the big, it's big for that city. So he's like, yo, hun, look at how they're dressed. And like their costumes were on point. So he wanted to show his wife, like, yo, look.
Costumes were on
They
point.
were. He said, look. And she's like, okay. She's trying to smoke her cig and drink her whiskey. That's all she wanted to do. And what I really liked about that scene was when they see her sitting on the couch and he says, honey, they're like, oh, wow, the master has married Medusa, because the wife was wearing like flexi rods in her hair. Mm-hmm. So that was really cute. And then...
But then after his wife leaves, he's like slow dancing in the living room with one of them. So I'm like, yo, this guy is wilding out, bro. Like,
yeah, he was doing quite a bit.
He don't care.
He was dancing with Sarah. I really enjoyed Mary because she's sitting down, never seen a television before. And so she's sitting down watching the TV, and there's a commercial with a baby like in a walker, and he's running throughout the living room. And she's watching it, and she's like, ah! Like the way she was screaming at the television.
Thinks it's magic.
Bro, I was dying. I was dying laughing because she was so funny in that scene. Because she couldn't believe like a baby is running towards you through the screen. And she didn't know how to respond to it. And then Winifred went into the kitchen and thought it was like a torture chamber. It was just great. That whole scene was just fantastic. Eventually they leave out. Then they have this whole scene where like they're at a bus stop, and the bus driver picks them up. And the bus driver was Shady Boots. The entire time he's just making like these sexual advances towards them. I don't know if
bus driver.
I don't know if you saw those.
The bus driver was wilding out. Oh, I forgot to say when Satan has them in his house, he said, I need one of those instant ice packs. You girls are giving me a fever. Yow. But yeah, the bus driver was like definitely hitting on them. He has Sarah Sanderson sitting in his lap while he's driving the bus, which seems like a safety hazard,
bro,
to say the least.
Among other things.
And then they're like, oh, all right, we're going to go here. Like, thanks. Let us off. He's like, yo, y'all should stay here. It would be great if you guys just hang out with me. And they're like, nah, rap you. Like, you would not want that.
Right. You would hate me in the morning, I think she says. Like, thou doth detest me in the morning. He said, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah, he's like, no, I wouldn't. She said, oh, believe me, thou wouldst.
Yeah, because I would eat your soul, bro. Because Winifred says to him, Winifred says to him, we desire children. And he said, it may take me a couple of tries, but I don't think that would be a problem.
That is what he said.
And then,
that is what he said. Your man was wilding out.
And then on the freeform pop-up, it said cringe. Yo, freeform was killing me, bro.
The freeform pop-up seems like the move.
It was killing me. But one thing that I noticed before, what was this time that I feel like I haven't really mentioned in the past is like, while they're in Satan's house, you have 3 little girls that are dressed as the Sanford sisters, and they come out and they find their broomsticks. And they're like, oh, wow,
right.
Look, cool, witches' brooms. And when they grab them and they go off camera, you hear like a whoosh, like a swooshing sound. And I'm like, so those 3 little girls are just flying around on broomsticks?
Apparently, we never see them again.
What happened to them?
And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm there's no adults in town right now. They're all at the party. So I guess nobody's gonna do anything about it. The only cops we see are people who are waiting for their girlfriends to come out the liquor store.
Oh my Lord. Yeah, so talk about amok. Yes, this city is there's a lot going on here. So these witches are running around, and the reason why that they are searching for Max and Danny and Allison is because they took the book. And the book is where Winifred has the spell, and she needs the book in order to cast the spells to take the children's souls. And what we saw from the very beginning of the film when they were able to kill Emily is they have to first have the child drink the potion, then they say their spell, and then the soul is able to, I guess, go into them to make them younger. So without the book, they really can't do anything. So they're going everywhere trying to find this book. The kids end up getting away. They end up crashing at Max's house. They fall asleep. And while they're there, Max and Allison are like, yo, we feel so bad, for Binks boy. Because it's like, he's stuck here as a cat. He's been stuck as a cat for 300 years. We really want to do something good for him because he was able to save us. And that's when they decide that they're going to like open up the book to find a spell that's going to change him from a cat back into a boy. Although Thackeray has warned them multiple times, like, don't open the book is dangerous, don't use the book. And of course in films, if you are warned not to do something, you're going to do it because that's just part of it. And as soon as they open the book, they're like, oh, that doesn't seem too bad. Nothing's happening. This bright-ass light is shining that they can't see. The witches can. And the witches are able to track them down, find where the book is, get the book, kidnap Danny. It's a whole thing. They got to chase him around. And I'm watching this, and it's like, I feel like most times when I'm watching films and people disobey the rules, it's because they're just like being stubborn or they don't want to listen for whatever reason. But at least in this situation, like they were trying to help Thackeray out. You know what I mean? Like it was like, oh, we feel bad for this cat. He lost his family. Like we want to repay him. So like their hearts were in the right place. It just wasn't the right move.
I mean, the thing about it is like, there's no way that they would have known that opening the book was going to like create this lighthouse effect.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that they literally burned the witches alive in the high school.
Oh, the pottery kiln? Yeah.
Right. So it's like, oh, like they're dead and we have this book that can get Thackeray brought back to life. Like it makes sense to try it. It probably doesn't make sense to try it at like 1:30 in the morning when you've been running around all day. Like I would probably, wait till the morning to figure this out. Or at least wait until my parents come back home because I still haven't seen them yet.
Don't worry about those parents.
Because they're still dancing till they die.
Listen, Max has Allison sleeping on his chest, bro.
All the more reason not to worry about that right now.
Oh, true.
Thackeray has gone to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, he's not worried about it.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Mac on your girl, have yourself a nice little night, and then in the morning, then you could be like, yo, our parents still are home. Actually, there's no adults in town. What's going on? Then you utilize that book. And at that point, the witches are gone anyway because it's dusk or it's dawn.
Yeah. Fair enough.
There's ways to have done it.
Yeah.
But I guess it wouldn't have worked anyway because once the witches died, so did Thackeray.
Well, his soul was freed at that point. Yeah. At that point, he was able to, join
So he
his
still wouldn't have
sister.
been brought back to life.
No, yeah, you're right. When the sun came up. Yeah, so a lot of stuff happens. They later on end up tricking the sisters into believing that the sun had risen early by having the headlights of the car shown into the cottage, which I thought was really smart for kids to think of. Is how do we make the sun rise early? I know, we'll create a fake sun. They don't know the difference, which, And again, these witches are not very bright, so they can do things like this to trick them. They also thought the road was like a river because they'd never seen a paved road before. So a lot of things, it's oh, we're in 1993. You guys didn't have this 300 years ago, so they could use this to trick them. That was fun to watch. So they end up at the end, being able to make sure none of the kids are actually, demolished or killed. They were very close. They were very close to killing Danny, because Winifred had the potion in her hand, was getting ready to pour it into her sister, was getting ready to snatch her up, and basically Max was able, I think he threw something at Winifred. She dropped the potion. He got the potion in his hand and was like, "Give me Danny, I'll give you your potion." And of course, you can't trust a witch, so he said, "You know what? Screw it." And then he just drank the potion down. And I said, "Max, that is a big brother." He basically was at the end of the day, now you have to take me because there's no potion to give to my little sister. So what are you going to do? And I was thinking man, if I was your little sister, Joelle, would you have drank the potion for me?
No. Next question.
You're lying. You definitely would drink that thing. You a lie. You a lie.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
You a lie.
Hey, listen, you've never been my little sister.
You would do everything in your power to save me. I know you would.
How could I know?
I know you would.
I mean, I've never been put in that position, This is all speculative.
But what didn't make a lot of sense is, so they know salt, if you have salt around yourself, it'll save you from the witches, right? This is a part of lore. It's salt, witches can't cross it, evil can't cross it. Okay. So they decide they're going to put salt around this old grave where Billy was in. We didn't even talk about Billy, but yeah. Danny, and they put Danny in this grave. They put salt around it, tell her to stay there. You'll be safe. But in my head, I'm like, why didn't y'all all just get into the grave and stay there until the sun came up? I didn't understand.
Or just make a circle around anything that isn't a grave. Did you have to put yourself in a grave to begin with?
Well, they went to the graveside because they know that it's hallowed land and witches can't set foot. They were flying over it, but they actually can't set foot in the cemetery. So that was the whole reason of going there. It's supposed to be safe. So it's okay, you create this barrier.
William was like, "Let me show y'all my crib." I've been here for 300 years. So apparently just sleeping this entire time because his body had not decomposed. But
who's Billy?
The other thing about it...
Who is Billy, though? We gotta say who Billy is.
Billy was Sarah Sanderson. No, it was...
Winifred.
It was Winnie's old boyfriend who she found out was flirting with her sister behind her back. So she basically cursed him where he could no longer speak and then killed him so that he couldn't even tell people in the afterlife what happened. So when he gets revived later in the movie and they put him in a hex to basically capture the children, we see that he basically has his lips sewn shut.
Yeah, and that's something that always freaks me out about horror movies. It's a lot of things don't really get to me, but seeing someone with their mouth sewn shut, it's just very creepy to me. Probably, I think
is creepy. Of all the things that you watch in horror movies, that is what creeps you out.
Because it's something about having the thread going up and down across a person's mouth It's just like, ew. Like, it's painful. It also just like kind of makes my skin itch.
You
I
would
don't
need
know.
very thick thread too.
Yeah, it's just like kind of gross, and yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, to the point of the salts, right? Number one, they're like very judiciously using this salt because
Oh my
they
God.
somehow run out of the entire canister. But despite that, because the witches can't set foot on the cemetery, they're flying above and they don't have brooms, so they're like on a mop and a vacuum, which was also pretty funny. But they're flying above, and while they're supposed to be ducked down in this grave, they're just standing up taunting the sisters, and then they just grab Emily. Not Emily, but the little
Danny.
girl. Danny. So it's like, oh, so I guess this salt actually like doesn't really matter if they can just like grab you from the top.
Remember, Danny got out of the grave because I think like Billy got his head chopped off. Billy is decomposing. So something happened, and I think like one of the witches,
his head got knocked off at least twice.
Right. So his head got knocked off, and Danny left the safety of the salt circle to grab his head. And that's when they snatched her. It's like,
That's
girl,
right. You're right.
you have
You're
one
right.
job. Just stay here. He's already dead. Like, what are we worried about?
And also, like, he can get his head later.
Right. He's literally already dead.
Yeah, get his head when it's dawn. Like,
Right. But, she is a caring child. She cared. Earlier on in the film, we see Thackeray get run over by the same bus that the Sanderson sisters are riding on. And she thinks that Thackeray is dead. Because, to be fair, like, that cat got flattened by the bus.
after watching Fear last week, I was like, not again.
Oh, no. And it's a cat, too. Oh.
Please. Please, not again.
Oh, no.
I still haven't gotten over last week.
No, but he ends up being okay. He's like, see, I told you I can't die. He comes back to life. And so I think she's just a very empathetic, child. She wants to make sure the people that at least are looking out for her are good. Because Billy was supposed to capture them, but when he gets a knife, all he does is unsew his mouth together. He cuts through the thread, and he's able to basically curse out the witches, and he ends up being on the kid's side. So in her mind, it's like, oh, Billy's a good guy. I want to make sure he's okay. But she ended up.
Billy was a good guy, other than the whole, cheating on his girlfriend with her sister.
Well, something about that. I
Okay.
did watch the second one twice. And in the second film, they let out that basically Billy was not Winifred's boyfriend. Apparently, they had shared like one kiss, and in her mind, they were a thing.
That's how it works.
They kissed, and then later on, he started.
We go together.
Later on,
That's
he
the way it
started
works,
dating
bro.
Sarah, but it was like, yo, that was never my girl. Like she just wrote history that way. So we thought that he was until the second movie, but he wasn't. Just to clear Billy's name.
All right,
Justice for Billy.
See. I don't know. He was locking lips.
Justice for Billy.
Gotta mean something, buddy.
Speaking of Billy, I don't know if you caught this, but throughout the film, Winifred keeps calling him things. Like she calls him a maggot museum.
That's crazy.
And she made me laugh a lot every time she was talking to that man. I'm like, girl, you have no respect. But also, here's the thing. If you're my ex-boyfriend who cheated on me with my sister, and this is giving, what, soul food vibes?
Oh, man. Please.
If I am trying to get these kids, why am I calling him back from the dead?
Right. The one that I cursed to his grave.
It doesn't make any sense.
Cursed in this life and the next.
Yeah.
Let's get that guy back to help.
Yeah, get one of your friends. Get a cousin.
There's literally a field full of dead people.
Yeah.
You could have chosen any of them.
Get your mama. Get somebody that loves you to come back. But I don't know.
After all that, of course, they're able to. It looks like Max is about to go. Because we see his soul getting sucked.
His soul's getting sucked
and
out.
it's like, they're like 50% there. And I don't even remember what happens. How did
The sun
how did he
comes
not
up.
die? Oh, like, so basically they just ran out of time.
Yeah, she's basically holding him. Winifred is holding him up. The sun basically starts to come up, and she turns into stone.
That's right.
He falls down, and then of course, she explodes, her sisters explode, and it's like, oh, y'all didn't make it in time. Rap, y'all. Go back to hell.
So they didn't. Yeah, so like, okay.
But my thing is, like, to
in
your
my
point,
head, I was thinking that maybe it was something more climactic than that, but I guess that's why I didn't remember it, because it didn't happen.
it was just the son. But I'm thinking, like, if, like you said, if half of his soul was sucked out, does that mean he dies at like 30?
Well, she didn't complete it. Like, if you don't complete it, then
So you go back to full power?
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, she sucked a lot of it out though. So I'm like, you just go back to like,
But
that's
he
it?
didn't die, so it's like, yeah. So
Dang.
then once she dies, then he just gets it back. Then it just he goes back to full strength.
It's like a power up.
Yeah, it's a power up. He's like, he hit the Mario mushroom. He's like, all right, I'm lit. It didn't work that way for Thackeray though, because he's still dead. But he does end up reuniting with his little sister, who's also dead. But at least they get to like see each other again in the afterlife, which he's been waiting to do for the past 300 years. And actually, the fact that I've been alive, albeit as a cat, but still alive for 300 years, at that point, I'm sure he's happy to no longer be living.
Absolutely.
So
it's
like,
time
all
to
right,
go.
like, thanks for that. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then he tells, he tells Danny, I'll always be with you. And it's like,
Shout out to young Thax.
thanks.
All right, so let's get to themes.
You can start.
So for me, I always think about like, what happened to the characters in this movie? What lesson did they learn? And what lesson are we supposed to learn through them? And I think the main theme is to be learned through Max, which is to put your fears aside to protect the ones that you love. We see at the beginning of the movie that he gets bullied, they steal his sneakers, they punk him in front of his sister. And he doesn't really fight back. His sister even says like, yo, you just let them punk you like that. He's like, well, they're bigger than me. What was I supposed to do? And when faced with, the threat of his sister getting killed by these witches who are much more intimidating than a bunch of bullies, like they're using magic, they're flying through the air, he bosses up. He puts his life on the line. Not only for his sister, but also like the girl I got a crush on is watching this, bro. Like I can't sell in this moment. Like I have to show up for this. So he shows up. And that I think also not only, Allison's got to be a Max fan after this.
Oh, yeah.
But not only that, but like, you're now going to have a completely different relationship with your sister moving forward, and she's going to always remember this.
Aww.
So, and I feel like going back to school, Jay and Ice are going to be like, you two dummies? Like, I'm not worried about y'all anymore.
Well, remember, he left them hanging up in the witch's cottage.
That's true.
He left them to die.
I'm like, yo, come back. Come, you're not going to let us out? It's like, nah, bro.
He stole his shoes back.
Yeah, he's like, give me that.
That was kind of funny.
I was okay with that.
I know you were.
Yeah.
So I also was thinking about Max when I thought about the theme of this film. So you mentioned basically overcoming your fears. I was thinking more along the lines of understanding that you don't know everything, because he came into this basically like, again, it's just a bunch of hocus pocus. I don't believe in none of this stuff. And then he quickly realized, like, bro, there's a whole world that you're not aware of. Like, witches do actually exist. And it's the whole, like, what do they say, like, F around and find out? That's what he did. Because they told you not to do it. Don't light the candle. He lit the candle. Don't open the book. He opened the book. It's like every which way they kept telling him, don't do something. He did it. And then he realized,
every which way?
Oh, yes. Thank you for that. He realized that basically, I think I know best. And clearly I don't, because there's the whole world out there that I'm not aware of. And to your point, like, he does do well dealing in that world and figuring out how to save his sister as well as himself. But it's definitely something about learning that you don't know everything. Keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and realize that there is a lot to learn about the world.
I bet. So
All
let's
right.
get into some facts and then our rewind ratings.
So I'll start with this. There were a lot of facts. I mean, like a lot of facts. I had to cut quite a few out because we would be here for probably another hour. So that being said, if you're a listener and there's a fact that you particularly like that I didn't mention, I probably saw it, but just could not include it, all right?
If you have facts that we don't put in the episode, drop it in the comments.
Yeah.
And give it to us on social media so that people can see the facts for themselves.
Yeah. It's a good one. All right, so this movie, although, like I said before, is considered to be like one of the big Halloween movies, it actually came out on July the 16th of 93.
That's terrible marketing.
Well, it flopped.
Yeah, you put a Halloween movie out in the middle of July.
It didn't become a cult classic until later because obviously it's summertime. I don't want to watch a movie about witches right now. Sarah Jessica Parker went on this show called Who Do You Think You Are? And they basically use Ancestry.com to figure out, where you come from. And I was watching like a bit of this show, and it showed that her 10th great-grandmother was accused of being a witch during the Salem witch trials, which is pretty interesting to see that she did a movie about Salem and witches later on.
So she really does come from a line of witches.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, she was accused. The lady was accused.
She was just accused.
We didn't say she was a witch. She was just accused. Chances
Allegedly.
Chances are she was not a witch. The song Come Little Children is actually sung by Sarah Jessica Parker. It was composed by James Horner, who co-wrote My Heart Will Go On. So
I've
big name.
heard of that song before.
Have you?
Yeah.
So you mentioned during our Man in the Iron Mask episode that Leonardo DiCaprio basically had such big hits when he was young that as he got older, he was able to be more picky about the films that he chose.
Right.
Well, it turns out that he turned down quite a bit of money to play the part of Max in this film. Instead of doing this movie, he chose to be in 1993's What's Eating Gilbert Grape? And I say that to say that it seemed as though even from a young age, Leo has been very picky about what he did. He actually did an interview with Variety where he said, "I don't know where the hell I got the nerve. You live in an environment where you're influenced by people telling you to make a lot of money and strike while the iron's hot. But there's one thing I'm very proud of. It's being a young man who was sticking to my guns." So he liked
He said, I'm not making this ridiculous children's movie. I'm going to make a serious film.
And to
with
be
Johnny
fair,
Depp.
it paid off for him. I mean, it's a great film.
Yeah. But
So just to-
I
yeah, so
guess
just to say,
that he was never doing the Disney stuff.
No. And he got asked to do it, obviously. They were like, "We'll pay you." And he was like, "Yeah, that's not really my thing." So he said no. So all that to say, he's been picky from the very beginning. He's a very serious actor.
He is a very serious actor, that's for sure.
Conversely, the character who played Max, his name is Omri Katz. He told Entertainment Weekly that when he was 16, he was often high while shooting scenes. He said that while he was shooting this film, the director, Ortega, grabbed him by the shirt during one scene and basically asked him, "Are you high?" And he was like, no, I'm not. And the reason why he was asked is because he was not hitting his marks. And he said after he got called out, he was like, maybe I should be a little bit more professional.
Wait, which actor was this?
Max.
Oh, this was Max?
Yeah. He said... So apparently the actress who played Allison...
Bro, you're that main character. You should be a little bit more professional. This whole movie's kind of riding on you, bro.
So it's the scene where he gets zapped by the bolt of green magic. And as he was getting zapped, his co-star was like, yeah, it's like he's being zapped and it just looks like he's high. Like it doesn't, like his face doesn't.
I wonder why it looked that way.
Oh man, Rosie O'Donnell apparently turned down the role of playing Mary Sanderson. What I found to be really interesting is when it came to Thackeray Binks, the human actor that we see at the beginning and at the end of the film is not the actual voice actor. The voice actor is played by James Marsden, but a different person actually was the face. When it came to the cats, there were 8 different black cats that they had to use. They had different purposes. So apparently one was like a cuddly cat. One was a cat who could like jump on command. And the kid actors, like Danny, basically said in an interview that she hated working with the cats because every time a new cat came on the set, they had to like get the cat used to them. You know how cats are.
Right, reacclimate.
Yeah, you have to like put your
actors,
hand
right.
out. You have to give them treats. You have to use the clicker so the cats can like learn to trust you. So it was a process for the children to get used to it. 2 more really quickly. One is that the same animatronic cat that was used on, well, for some scenes for Binks, was also used on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And then going back to the scene that you enjoyed with the older couple, the man who plays Satan is played by Gary Marshall. Gary Marshall is a very famous executive director. He did Mork and Mindy, Laverne and Shirley, and Happy Days.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and his sister played his wife in that scene.
That's very funny.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to Satan. All right, so let's do our rewind ratings based on how likely we are to rewatch this movie again in the future.
You go first this week.
Did you say I'll go first, or did you say you're telling me to go first?
You go first this week.
Okay.
Did you hear me?
Why? I don't know why you did that.
I was trying to be spooky ooky.
Okay. So I've seen this movie twice.
Congratulations.
I mean, it's a fun movie. It's not a movie that I have really any nostalgic factor for because I didn't watch it as a child. So it's like I get why this movie would be really cool to kids, but I didn't watch it as a kid, so it's just a kids movie to me. Like it doesn't hit the same as like The Sandlot or like one of those movies where I'm like, oh, this movie is so cool. It's like, oh yeah, this movie's nice. Obviously, Bette Midler does a fantastic job. The sisters have a good chemistry. There's like this playful spookiness about the movie that's like, there's a threat, but you never really feel that scared, which is nice. The workout studio that I go to, one of the receptionists created this chart that she had posted on the television in the front lobby that said like, here's a bunch of Halloween movies for scaredy cats.
Oh.
So it was movies like this where like you can watch this and feel like you're in the holiday spirit without watching movies like Halloween. So I do think that this movie has high replay value. Obviously, because of the lack of nostalgia, I can't give it a straight 5. This is not a movie that I would like watch every Halloween per se, but I would watch it again. So I would say I'll give it like a 3.5.
Okay. I'll allow it. Where do I start? What do I say? I mean, you already know what my score is going to be before I even say it.
You gotta give the people what they want.
Yeah, this is my time of year. Just to give you guys an idea of why I love Halloween so much. Just like, I don't know, an hour and a half ago, I was coming home and one of my neighbors was walking her dog. We walked by, we were like chatting a little bit, and as I was getting ready to open my door, she said, "Oh, you live here?" And I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "I always walk by and I really admired like your Halloween decorations." And I was like, "Oh!" It brought a smile to my face. So yeah, I love this season. I love everything about it. And this is a movie, like you said, you wouldn't do this, but every year I watch this movie. It's like how we do Home Alone for Christmas, I do Hocus Pocus for Halloween. This is a 5. I absolutely love it. I watch this all the time. And it's fun. It's just a blast. So yeah, 5 for me. All right,
there it is, folks.
There it is.
Let us know your rewind rating. Reach out to us on social media at RR90spod. Hit us up via email at rewindrewatch1990s@gmail.com. And you can also join our Patreon for only $5 a month to chat with us and other listeners, as well as getting bonus episodes. This last weekend, we just put out an episode about 2001's Baby Boy.
Oh, boy.
Which was an absolute blast. I would advise you to join the Patreon just to listen to that episode.
Just for
alone.
that one.
That alone would be worth it. But yeah, we have fun in there. So yeah, give us a shout for the holidays. It might be a good way to treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Any final words?
Oh, you know I do, baby.
You gonna say them?
I have a few. Okay, I'll
You
start.
have multiple final words?
Yes, like two. Just relax.
Okay.
So the first one is Ichita Kapita Malaka Mystica, which is the chant the sisters say, and I love saying it with them because it's just
Say it too many times. Some creepy gonna pop up behind you.
Ichita Kapita Malaka Mystica. All right, and the last one is Book. All right, y'all.
All right.
Later.
Adios.